Lots to discuss. Lots to discuss. I mean, holy moly. Spider-Man just keeps doing it. It's like every story really just turns out to be more and more about Spider-Man and what it's been doing. 500 million already. 500 million already. What's it going to do this weekend? It's pretty crazy. We'll talk about that. So the X-Men casting, it's coming fast and furious. We talked about Cyclops yesterday, Emma Frost. We got some picture, kind of like an Emma Frost type picture that we'll show, but there's also X-Men Professor X has reportedly also been cast. So we'll talk about that. We talk a little bit about Cyclops, who was the runner-up there. And there's tons of stuff that's going on in the movie news world, man. A lot of stories kind of broke this morning. We have what's the other Michael? They already said the sequel's going to be coming out sooner than later. David Fincher's Squid Game, they said, nope, not doing that anymore. What happened there? So there's tons of stuff that Winston A. Marshall and myself will be discussing. So let's get into it. It's Kristian Harloff Show here today on this Friday. Let's do it.
Did you shit in there?
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it is Friday. It's the last show of the week. And who better close out the shows with me than my good buddy, Winston A. Marshall. There he is. Winston is here, ready to go. Great shirt. Winston, I saw you kind of going back and forth. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, let me just get this right. I saw you going back and forth. I don't know if it was with Roka or whatever it was too, about what the money could be on this thing overall, because it's just nobody really predicted. Everybody predicted it was going to be big, but nobody predicted it was going to be this big, this fast.
It's the speed. It's not the amount of money. I'm not surprised by it based off of No Way Home. I think there was a lot of people going, well, you don't have the other Spider-Man this time. Can it still do that? But I think above all else, it was, there is no way it'll hit all of this quickly. And the fact that it's going to, the rumor now is 1.7 by the end of the weekend.
By the end of the weekend?
That was
well, yeah. I mean, look. Well, that was what we were talking about yesterday with myself and Chris Carr. Is that let's get into this article, right, and talk about the actual numbers that it's put out so far and what it hit, and the fact that New Spider-Man, it has now set a first week record. It's been setting records left and right. It does it again with Sony's Spider-Man Brand New Day. The film has continued to smash box office records across its first week. The title launched last Friday. Beating Avengers Endgame, 360 million. Turn this. I don't want to see this guy playing fucking guitar. Give me a break. So the title launched last Friday to 360, beating Avengers Endgame to score the highest domestic opening weekend box office take of all time. It then continued to smash further records. 47 million on Monday, 42 million Tuesday, 32 million on Wednesday. That's the best domestic box office grosses for Monday and a Tuesday. The film has also surpassed 500 million in North America in its first 7 days, becoming the fastest film to reach $500 million milestone, beating Avengers Endgame, which took 8 days, which is pretty nuts. Worldwide, the film reached the $1 billion mark in 6 days, second place to Avengers Endgame, which made $1.2 billion in its first 3. The film, which is now in cinemas, carries a $225 million production budget. Now, to go back to what you said, in order to do it's right now it's at 500 million, right? Well, let me see the actual number. I'll go to Box Office Mojo, because this is where it's interesting in general. You got Spider-Man Brand New Day currently stands at 1.1. It's 1.1 overall worldwide. It has it. So it has 481, 706. So it's at 1.1. It would need, let's see, the drop off. If you give it like a 50% drop off, which is going to be a tough thing to accomplish, right? That means for
what it's been doing all week,
50%. If it does, so right now, if you have the movie itself last week made what 500? No, it made 1 point something.
Are you talking about?
No, worldwide it was a little over 1 point.
It ended Sunday at like 9:30 something.
No, it didn't. The grand total was 1.05 or something. It made $1 billion over the weekend. That was the whole.
I don't what. I am almost positive it hit $1 billion on Monday.
No, did it?
like the
Maybe
end
you're
of
right.
Monday, because it was 9:30
'Cause it did
was
it in
the
4
reported
days?
on Sunday. It did it by Monday. That was what was it was the one, it was the second fastest.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, 9:32. Yeah. Okay, so 9:32. I'm getting an echo on your side for some reason.
Okay, so everybody said my mic was too low, so I turned it up. So now I will turn it back down. So we just got to find the sweet spot.
All right. Still hearing an echo, but whatever. 9:32 is what it made. So if it, let's say it goes, let's say it makes close to 450. So opening, which would be a massive number worldwide if it beat 450, essentially making close to what it was predicted. It was predicted to make 500 to 550, right? So if it makes that, and now it's already at 1.1, then you're going to get close to 1.6, 1.7. But you really have, you know how hard it's going to be. Again, I said it's not impossible, but again, to hit 50%, because Odyssey did 29% in second week, but that's because it was a very different number than almost $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you think that this, let's say this movie overall, 1.6, 1.7 is going to be a tough goal to hit by the end of the weekend, but I don't think 1.4 or 1.5 is out of the question.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I think the only thing that wasn't, like, what I was debating with Roca is he was like, yeah, man, it's gonna hit 2 billion by the end of the week. I said, no, it's not. Like, because I was literally talking about drop off and
yeah,
the idea of you would essentially need, you already had so many people that watched this movie the first weekend that they're like, I saw it 3 times. I saw it once in IMAX, or not IMAX. I saw it once in
right.
Dolby. I saw it once in 40X. I saw it once in ScreenX. Like, I just wanted to see the different experiences, or I just had to see it 3 times. You would need the same people to essentially have that kind of vigor to hit 2 billion by the end of the following weekend, because you just hit right under 1 billion the first time. Either that, or you have to have so many people that were like, I didn't see it at all and I want to go see it, to try and do that. I think 1.5 to 1.7 is definitely possible based off of what these numbers are, but 2 just doesn't sound realistic, because that would mean you outshot yourself from the previous weekend.
Yeah, look, you wouldn't outshoot it because you're going into it with a 500, vet.
So the cutoff would be Tuesday, right?
So you basically you'd have to make right now. You'd have, what is that, 1.1? You'd have to make. You're at 1.1 right now, so yeah, but
so then it would be essentially the same if you're at 1.1.
Yeah, you'd have to make probably a little under what you made last week, and that's like basically no drop. So 2 billion is, as I say, don't say impossible. It's near impossible, right? That is near impossible. It's not. I don't like. It's not impossible, but it is. You shouldn't bet on that, because it is most likely not going to happen, because that's never happened. Unless it's like Obsession, which is like very different as far as budgets and everything too, where it's making more money than it did in the previous weeks. But that doesn't happen with these big blockbuster movies, because, like you said, people have either seen them or they didn't see them. Maybe there were people viewing. Now, the only thing that could help it push towards the number that you and I think realistically is going to be in between the 1.5, 1.7 is a stretch. But even if it gets to 1.5, I think what's going to help it is the IMAX screenings. Because even the people who have seen it 2 or 3 times would be like, well, I didn't see it in IMAX, so I want to go check it out in IMAX. Now I want to see Spider-Man swinging from the way that that Cretton shot those scenes. I want to see that in IMAX.
I think that would be dope. But the one thing I would tell people to do, and I'm probably going to check it out in ScreenX 3D. I unfortunately had to. I normally hate 3D movies. But I had to, as far as trying to find a screening within the time frame, and that actually ended up being the best decision I could have possibly made, because you are actually web swinging with him in 3D. It is fantastic. The fights and the web swinging. It's annoying for the more emotional scenes, which obviously there's a lot of those in this movie, just because it wasn't clearly shot for 3D. So there are definitely moments where, like, too much shit is out of focus, like in your face, that is just kind of obnoxious. But all of the web swinging, it felt like being on a ride, and I hate roller coasters, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it did, but it wasn't. It didn't just feel like style. It felt like there was substance with the style. Even when he's when you feel him and you hear him breathing, but they go inside of the mask and you
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It's not, you don't feel like, oh, okay, it's a cool shot, great, good. Let's get to what this is about. No, you feel that, you feel his tension as he's going down there, what he's seeing, what he's doing. You're in, there's a reason for the shots, and I think that to me is really good filmmaking, because it's like, yeah, let me see how I can make this really look exciting, look different, look fresh, but also make it part of what is going on. And that's what adds to the success of this movie, because like you said, it's a ride, it's an adventure, but it's also an emotional ride and adventure that you're invested in.
No, for sure. And Luke made a good point in the private chat that we only have the numbers through Wednesday. We don't have the Thursday numbers yet.
Right.
So that too, like the math.
And Thursdays usually are almost like an indicative to the weekend, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's funny. A good indicator, I've been telling people, this theater that I have to go to occasionally when I have to work out in Anaheim is just this small theater tucked inside of this like outdoor mall. And it was the same one that I saw Moana in, where literally I was the only person in that theater. It's the same one I saw Odyssey, where the theater was busy, but like my actual screening was full. So that was going to be a big deal. Versus when I saw Spider-Man, the entire theater was full of people. It's never full of people. It was completely full. They were all in Spider-Man outfits. Every screening except for like one screen, which was Odyssey. Everything else was Spider-Man, and all of those theaters were full. The bathrooms were full. The concession line. To me, that's starting to become my indicator of whether or not a movie is going to do very well. Is just definitely this small theater and how people are showing up to it. So, and yesterday, the entire mall was dead. The House of Blues where I was working was dead. The theater, again, was packed full of people with Spider-Man stuff. So like everything else, Disneyland had nobody like in their parking lot or anything. So my mind was blown that I was like, wow, this movie is going to have some crazy legs, man.
Yeah. It's funny though, too, because we always talk about this when a movie comes out. We always say, look, well, week 2 is always the tell. Right, like you look at like Odyssey. Week 2 was the tell for Odyssey, and it dropped only 29%, and it can show the success that movie is. Spider-Man second weekend, it's not a matter of is it going to do well week 2. It's a matter of how well is it going to do in week 2, because it's clear, like as we're talking here, it's going to, what's it going to add to, and is it going to have, is Luke makes a great point, right? Like what we're talking about it as if it's going to be 1.1. It's not. It's probably going to be a little, higher than that. Now it'll probably be closer to 1.2 going into. You'd look at it probably depending on what it did worldwide yesterday. It probably did pretty well. So you probably get close to the 1.2 area. So now you're looking at, if you're making an additional 300, let's say 300 million. So you're looking at, I think you're looking at 1.5, 1.6 for the end of this weekend, which is incredible. And then that just starts to tack on. I said the reason why this movie has an opportunity to be one of the biggest movies of all time, if not the biggest movie of all time, is because there is no competition. There's nothing kind of going up against it. Oak Street is going to do fine on its own, but it's not the kind of competition that Spider-Man has to worry about. The only thing is, it's funny because we just said, let me ask you a question. What do you think the first $3 billion movie in history is going to be? There's an easy answer to this question, and I didn't think about it until I had a conversation with Ellis yesterday, but there's an easy answer.
My only guess would be this is the first one that feels like it's attainable. I think the answer is it's gonna be Endgame once it re-releases.
That's exactly what it is. It's Endgame.
But if you're talking about on a natural run, because I think it'll eventually happen one day. It's going to be an incredibly rare feat that will probably potentially never happen again. This movie would have to do something absolutely spectacular, but I guess it's feasibly possible. You've said if Doomsday, depending on how that is. I think what might do it is the Spider-Man movie, if it's just as good as this one that introduces Miles, I think might be the thing, because then you're getting the full-blown crossover of the end of
Spidey's Tom,
and bringing in Miles that has become beloved, especially because of both the video games and because of the Into the Spider-Verse series.
Yeah,
that would be the only one I could think of based off of what this is doing.
So Endgame will be the first one, because they're going to do basically what Avatar did. And they have all this new footage, and people are going to want to see it now leading into Doomsday. Now, I still think that this movie, depending on it really does if we get to a place where by the end of the weekend this movie is at 1.7, 1.8, then this movie hitting 3 billion is definitely not off the table. It is very possible because of the lack of competition. Now, the other thing is, if Endgame puts in these post-credit scenes and gets people really hyped up for Doomsday, the crazy outside possibility that is on the table, but not guaranteed, is that in the same year, you could see, well, you probably have to wait until it pushed into 2027, but the release days of the same year, there's a possibility that you could have $3 billion movies in the same year. There's a possibility. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really hard. But if Spider-Man does it, if Endgame pushes into that 3 billion, and then if Doomsday is good enough that gets people back in there and has no competition going into January, there is a world, there's a multiverse world where this potentially could happen. It's not outside the realm of possibilities. But then again, Mike Kalinowski almost played for 3 belts, and instead he goofed and said, Mr. Sam Jones the third Jr. and didn't get to do it. So maybe that's what happens to Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, we will ultimately see, man. I think that Doomsday. It's so funny because the rate that this is going, it's starting to make me wonder if Doomsday is gonna keep up. I know that sounds so weird.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound weird.
But there is something specific where, like, I think what the first thing we're getting is, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. I think the second thing that we're getting out of this that will be the interesting question mark. Okay, you have Thor. And the thing I was going to show you before the show is I got into this crazy debate with Jay on Blurds about whether or not Thor was an A-list character prior to the MCU.
No, he wasn't.
I don't think he was at all.
No way. I mean, maybe people might have known his name because of the Norse god stuff, and maybe Adventures in Babysitting. Not as
a comic book character. That was my argument. It was that sure, because he has legend outside of it. That's a different thing, but even that wasn't like an A-list thing as far as that goes. It's like the people that remember their history or from the region or whatever.
I think he was bigger than Iron Man, but he still was on the lower tier. Yeah.
The easiest argument is that the A-listers out of Marvel were the ones that essentially Marvel sold the film rights to.
Totally.
And then so to that point that Thor was not that. So then the question becomes, he's become an A-lister now since the MCU. So you got Thor. You're obviously bringing Robert Downey Jr., the actor, back, which is helpful. But it's not your same Tony Stark Iron Man character. Yes, you're bringing Steve back, but we don't really quite know what's going on there yet. There's no guarantee one way or the other of where they're going to be, how we're going to use it. So the idea that it's automatically going to skyrocket to the same levels of Infinity War and Endgame, we certainly hope it will. But Spider-Man is Spider-Man, so this makes a little more sense. So now that's the question, is that does Spider-Man just outplay Doomsday?
It's absolutely possible that it does, because here's the other thing, though, too. We know for people, you and I feel this way, and a lot of other people do, it's a really good movie, Spider-Man. It's a really good movie. We don't know that about Doomsday yet. We hope it's a really good movie, but we don't know. Yeah. It's got to be a really good movie as well, because the thing that it does have going for it in the same way that Spider-Man does is because it is more of a household name now because of the past movies. And let's not forget, and don't take away from this, every time we're talking about the Spider-Man records, right? We said that it was almost number one in this category, but it couldn't beat what movie? Avengers Endgame. This is the sequel to that movie. And when they put out Endgame, people keep forgetting that because they go, well, there's so many movies in between. Spider-Man 4 is a direct sequel to Spider-Man 3. This movie is a direct sequel to Endgame, which was soon going to be the biggest movie of all time. So that movie is going to, if people care enough, which I believe that they're going to, and if it is a good movie, I still think it could beat what Spider-Man is doing. Although I'm flip-flopping, and I admit it, because I was on Campia show on Wednesday, and I said, and right now I got to say Spider-Man. Tomorrow I can say Endgame. I mean, Doomsday. But either way, it's a good place to be in if you're Marvel that you've been having this conversation, that people are having this conversation, because it wasn't beforehand. You had 2 movies last year that couldn't even make profit.
Right.
So you're in a good spot.
Right. This is, and I think that's the thing. Above all else, you would know better than I would, because I don't really watch Westerns. How has Clint Eastwood, once Westerns kind of started to do what we thought superheroes movies started to, did Clint Eastwood movies still do very well?
Yeah, man, Dirty Harry and all those other movies that he did. Like he did tons. He did a movie called The Rookie. He did a movie called what was it? The Secret Service movie with John Malkovich that I really liked. Like, he did a bunch of movies after the Westerns.
So the reason I just
John Wayne is more of a question for that one.
Okay, so then John Wayne's probably a better one in that regard. But my question was just in regards of, I think what people were like, there are certain properties within superheroes that are just going to do well.
Yes.
So Spider-Man is one of those. Batman is one of those.
Agreed. Avengers is one of those.
I think so. I truly think so. But the funny thing is we don't know, because the era we're essentially talking about is Endgame on. So we haven't had a proper Avengers film since Endgame.
Right.
So
if you were doing an Avengers movie, though, dude, if you would have done the Avengers with, the Thunderbolt Avengers, those are the new Avengers, you do that movie, there's no chance. But the fact that they're doing this movie, as you said, with Thor, doesn't matter if Downey's coming back as Iron Man, doesn't matter if Evans is coming back as Captain America, they're back, right? And they can market with them, and that will get people in the theater. But we don't know at what level yet, but we'll see. We got to get another trailer. Apparently the other trailer they showed at Comic-Con blew people away.
Okay.
So, we'll see. Who knows? But that's the next one. Right now, it's all about Spider-Man. So I'm curious what you guys think about it. Put your thoughts in there. What's it going to do this weekend? Very curious to get people's predictions. We want to know. All right, look, before we get into some more topics, and we've got a ton of them, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Rugiet, tell you about Factor, and we will be right back. Life really does move at like 175 miles an hour. I'm telling you, it's like the big week's coming up. It's so stressful. It can be, between whether it's work, relationship, everything else that you got going on your plate. You want to know that you can show up when it counts. And that includes, it's the bedroom, guys. If things aren't working out the way that they used to, you don't have to accept it. So Rugiet, told you a million times about Rugiet. Everybody who's been trying Rugiet says, thank you so much, and you're welcome. Why? Because Rugiet has treatments that can help you. It gets you staying hard, it gets you hard, and it lasts as long as you want, whether it's occasional trouble or something that's been building for a while. Their doctors work with you to find out what fits your body. Their best-selling treatment is Rugiet Ready. Combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in one minty dose that dissolves under your tongue. It increases blood flow, and it primes your brain for arousal, so you're ready physically and mentally, ready to go. Most men are good to go in about 15 minutes, with effects lasting up to 36 hours. And if timing is your issue, Rugiet has Go Long in a 2-in-1 treatment that helps you get hard and stay in control when you finish. Over 400,000 men have already made the switch to Rugiet. Now, you want to get started? Simple. Rugiet connects you with a board-certified doctor online, and treatment ships discreetly to your door. Head on over to Rugiet.com/Kristian and get 15% off your ED treatment. That is RUGIET.com/Kristian. Get 15% off. Rugiet. It's performance medicine for men. Okay, my routine can get screwed up like that with my schedule, right? So, I know I've traveled and things coming up, but this is where Factor really comes in when it comes to eating real food. You guys know the Factor makes chef-crafted, dietitian-designed, ready-to-eat meals, so you don't have to choose between real food and convenience. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes and require no prep, no cleanup. So even on the days your schedule is completely out of control, eating well is still achievable. 97% of users agree that Factor meals help them live a healthier life, so you can feel confident that you're doing something good for yourself with every meal. I love Factor. For me, it's I've been eating every 2.5, 3 hours. And so when I have these meals ready to go and the stuff that I know that I like, Factor has that stuff. It's been so easy for me. I've been talking about them for years. You guys know it. And people have been saying, I've tried it too, and you're 100% right. It's delicious too. All right, let's eat real. head on over to factormeals.com/Christian50off and use that code Christian50off and get 50% off and one free breakfast item per box for 1 year while supplies last until October 31st, 2026. That is code Christian50off at factormeals.com. Christian50off at factormeals.com. So go to the website, check out more details. You will enjoy it. I promise you. Thank you to our good friends over at Rugiet and to Factor. I'll tell you, the audience, you're a bunch of fucking idiots. It's like, I say that lovingly, but like, they're like 36 hours. 36. You're not walking around just like, it's like, it means it's in you. It means that if you, hey, look, you're good to go. You're good to go. And then it's like, okay, no, we get some sleep and everything too. The next day, you still got the superpowers. You still got the super serum. That's what it is.
You just
got it. It's not a matter of, hey, who wants it? Who wants it? Hey, there's a tree over there. You fucking idiots. Come on, use your brains.
I mean, that would be kind of fantastic if you just, hey, I'm ready to motherfucking go. Just all the
No. It means you got the Captain America super serum and it's 36 hours. It means if you're smooth, you need it. Use your brains.
That's fantastic. I love that people legitimately were like,
hey, what do you need to do? What do you have 36 hours for? Because you got the goods.
Just got the just
yeah. Soul Style's always looking
walking
for some
around
shit.
like this. Just
but there's another one. Soul Style's always looking for some shit. And yesterday, I almost bailed on this channel because of the Supergirl. Hey, stick your head in your asshole, Soul Style. You can say things again. So funny where I was like, when I was talking to you and Chris talking about Supergirl, and I was like, like when the movie's coming, I go, I just don't think this movie's going to do well. I don't think it's speaking to anyone. And you cannot be afraid. This is the thing, because you're gonna get stupid comments like that about like this hate. There's never once ever hate on that movie. I always wanted it to do well. Unfortunately, it just didn't look good in the trailers to me. Wasn't a good adaptation, and it didn't work. But you got to stick to your guns, because you can't go. Can't be like, well, I want to make sure that someone like that doesn't think I'm hating on the movie, and then he doesn't come back. Look, man, I appreciate how much of a fan the guy is. He's here every day talking, but like, if that's how you feel and you're gonna say stupid shit like that, beat it for a little bit and come back when you're smarter about things. Yeah. So
I think it was I always wanted Supergirl to do well myself. You know how excited I was based off of Woman of Tomorrow, and I said it. I thought that the character stuff was great. I thought the villain just was. You made such a drastic change, in my opinion, of how the villain was kind of presented. This was this idea of this dude really being a nothing, and there's something about that adds to why it's messing with Kara so much by making him this like big time gang leader, and he actually is.
He was such a goof. He was such a goof. Yeah. He was such a goof, and I could not get. I watched it with Sam, and I rewatched it with Sam. I could not get Jeremy John's impression out of my head. Because it's so true. He does it so much. He does it through. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Anyway, so let's talk. We're gonna stick with the MCU for a second, and so Winston's trying to compete now with Roka still. Roka to me is definitely still in the lead as I was looking. I don't know. I think Chris Carr had a good day yesterday. I don't know if she's going to wind up taking out Roka. Her numbers haven't come in yet. Mm-hmm. But if I remember correctly, let me see. I know that Roka's still in the lead. Let me double check. Roka currently is in the lead. He's got Roxy by a little bit, and then we're waiting on Chris Carr's number. So Winston needs to have a big turnaround here leading into it. But currently he's at 11. So we got to get some questions if you want to see Winston take out Roka. That's how you do it. But what Winston, when the Superman casting was happening, when we were doing capes, it really was like the only thing we were talking about for so long, because it was like, who's up for it? Who's up for Superman right now? Oh, Nicholas Holt's up for it. Oh no, wait, Nicholas Holt now is up for Lex Luthor. Oh my God, Rachel Brosnahan would be great as Lois Lane, and that was the casting thing at the time. Then it was a rumor for Bond. Bond is, coming, like, who's Bond? Bond. Now it's X-Men. And so Emma Frost, we will talk about. And there's some pictures that Samara Weaving put out there. First of all, what are your thoughts? Did we talk about? I don't know if we talked about it. Samara Weaving and as
We
Emma
did.
Frost. We did. It was on Friday. Did it break on Friday, right?
Yeah, because I think it actually broke a little earlier than that. Only because we did speak on maybe I'm wrong, but I'm getting my days mixed up because I think we talked about it here first on Friday, and then I talked with Roka this past Tuesday. So I think acting wise that is she's spot on for that. The main thing that I have said about Emma as far as that is that she is equal parts personality and very conniving, being a part of the Hellfire Club and a powerful telepath and a tour de force. She also is supposed to be almost a physical counter beauty wise to Jean. Jean has always been more kind of the girl next door type scenario, whereas Emma is supposed to be like for lack of a better word, I guess this is my unk mode, like a sex kitten. She's supposed to be like this. If Jean is like, oh, she's like,
the girl next door to the dancer at the party.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And so to that point, Samara has always kind of oozed sex appeal, but specifically on top of that, with her recently, having a kid, is even more like womanly, I guess, for lack of a better word.
So Emma Frost had a kid in the comic.
No, Samara Weaving.
Oh, did she? Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, she just recently had a baby. So she looks fantastic. She always has. But you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to imply that you need to, Sadie is very beautiful, but you need to have that contrast.
Sure.
Especially because then when Scott ends up with it, that's part of why you got with another telepath, and you went with there's this level of jealousy that comes in.
Totally. And what did we say last week? That we said, look, now that if she was the first one that they're announcing, it's going to come in fast and furious now, and it is already. Just yesterday, the rumor of, or not rumor, but it looks like pretty much that Kit Connor is going to be Cyclops. And we can dive into that, but apparently Professor X has been cast, and that's a big casting. So let's see what the comic book movie is saying about that. Okay, here it is. So X-Men Professor X has reportedly been cast, and the other side of it is that Asa Butterfield was the runner-up for Cyclops. It seems that Marvel Studios has chosen an actor to play Charles Xavier in the reboot, but it's not someone who has been rumored. Marvel Studios' long-awaited X-Men reboot is finally coming together with 3, possibly 4 actors now confirmed to have joined the cast for the movie. We're expecting a full cast announcement during D23 next weekend. But the trades have been fed a few morsels to get the hype train moving. Samara Weaving, as Winston and I just talked about, playing Emma Frost. Yesterday, we learned that Kit Connor has been cast as Cyclops. Adam Driver is believed to have signed on for an undisclosed role, but this has not been confirmed. And of course, Sadie Sink will return Jean Grey. According to Daniel Rickman, Marvel has chosen an actor to play Charles Xavier, but it's not Bill Skarsgård, Tom Pelphrey, or anyone else who has been rumored. Some internet grifters have latched onto this and are hinting that the studio plans to bring back James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender as Xavier and Magneto. Could it happen? Sure, but we really don't see Marvel deciding to muddy the waters and confuse cinema goers like this. Jeff Schneider has also shared some intriguing updates. It seems that both Drew Starkey and Cooper Hoffman were contenders to play Scott Summers, but the runner-up behind Connor was actually Asa Butterfield, who would surely have been viewed as an outside-the-box choice. He says the rumors are flying all over the place for X-Men as reps trying to position their clients for roles, and I'm not so sure about those Kaylee Spaney and Tom Pelphrey rumors anymore either. I'm getting the sense that both are old info that's simply resurfacing. I don't even know if Rogue is in the movie at this point. She's got to be in the movie. If she is, she may have a similar role than some are expecting. That would be silly.
Because I read this before we came in.
Let me. I'll finish it up, and then I'll let you start. This would line up with what we've heard about the core team, which is said to be said to consist of the original comic book crew, which was Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, Iceman, and Angel. If accurate, we can see other characters such as Rogue, Storm, and possibly Jubilee being introduced later in the movie. Sunny Lee Sung-jin and Joanna Callow recently came aboard to write new drafts of Michael Leslie's script. Kevin Feige had the following to say about the plans. According acquiring the X-Men rights isn't just about, for example, Wolverine is an outstanding character, and we're able to team him up with Deadpool, which is great. But the X-Men are far more than just Wolverine, far more than the original team. Fundamentally, it's a universe, a multi-stage saga. Much of that is what we're working towards. We're constantly changing, constantly evolving, but we have some guidance. It helps us act more purposely, especially with the X-Men. It's already had 10 movies, some very, very good. Some, I think, haven't lived up to expectations. How do we plan the mutant saga in a very grand way? That being said, we have many more characters to explore in the future. The schedule is already booked until 2042, especially the X-Men. X-Men have many unexplored characters from the Asia-Pacific region, particularly China, which we're very eager to explore. That's why I'm excited about the X-Men. We can show the world different types of heroes. Okay, Winston, you were going to say.
Yeah, I think the correct move is to go with the core team, which is that 5. And then if you want to show them seeing these other mutants or trying to recruit, I think that that's fair. But I think going with the 5 is the way to go. We have yet to do that. The OG film, obviously, you already had Storm there. You didn't have Beast. You didn't have Angel. You had Iceman, but you had him be different and not really a part of what Cyclops and Jean and them were doing. I think going with the core team is the way to go. And especially if it sounds like we're getting Black Panther before this X-Men movie, I think, because we haven't had an X-Men movie announcement. We could get the announcement and then all of a sudden, but I know what the Black Panther is supposed to be December of 28. And considering that you've got Secret Wars still and all that kind of stuff, and it sounds like they want to do that before they do an X-Men film, I think Black Panther comes first. But I think it makes a lot more sense to let Storm kind of focus on that and figure that out as far as an intro for her. You maybe show a Rogue or a Jubilee or something like that, but I think focus on these 5 and then the Professor and let that be the initial movie, and then you start building out from there.
You know, it's funny, when I was reading that initially, I was like, because I did X-Men, the G.I. Joe comic from Marvel, and X-Men were my 2 comics. Those are the comics that I read when I was a kid. And so when I initially said, when I was reading the article, I was like, you gotta have Rogue in it. And then I said to myself, well, that's because I'm just used to the movies. The ones because Anna Paquin was kind of one of the major stars in the movie. She's the one who essentially, without her, you don't meet Wolverine in that first movie, and that's kind of how that whole thing comes to be. But as you said, in the origin of it, she doesn't start with them. And if you're going to, it's almost like what we keep hoping that DC is going to do is build out, and then do big movies, to justify that. That's what we kind of want the X-Men to do too, because shit, man, me and you have been saying this for a long time, where once you're done with the Avengers and all that, the X-Men is really, you shouldn't stray too far away from it. Yes, do Black Panther 3. Yes, maybe do another Fantastic Four movie. You want to give it a shot. Try to do Shang-Chi if you can, those types of movies that you establish. But for the most part, stay inside that core and do the X-Men movies. And what you're saying makes sense. You build those characters first, get them to become big popular characters outside of just the comic verse. Get Jean Grey, who's going to be coming off this massive movie anyway, so she's going to be a huge star going into it already. Then you get Cyclops, get the 2 of them, build off of them, and then you can start making Rogue bigger in the next couple of movies. Don't introduce Wolverine. If you can do a full movie without even introducing him in a post-credit scene, that would be great. I doubt it. They're probably going to put him in a post-credit scene.
You got to.
Probably.
If I would personally, because part of it is, if you're talking about legitimately having Hugh Jackman be around forever, as long as he's alive, to have him play the role, I feel like you're gonna have to make a reference to him one way or the other.
Well, I think Wolverine, Hugh Jackman will most likely be in the movie. To somehow he's going to transfer over from Battle World, or something's going to happen. And then maybe eventually, and that's going to be their out to showing another Wolverine for a little bit, because you still have Hugh. He helps out or whatever it might be, and then he takes off, or whatever happens. So I don't know. I listen, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I love it.
I do too.
But I want it to be over. After Battle, I want it to be over. Let's get a new Wolverine.
I really, who knows if they're actually going to do it. I mean, I still think that Taron Egerton would be the perfect.
Me too.
His like height, attitude, all that stuff. I think he would crush. So we'll see on that. But yeah, it's funny. Somebody in the comments goes, "Oh, an X-Men movie without Wolverine, that's not gonna do nothing." And I was like, first class. He shows up literally to say, "Go F yourself," and that's it. Like, he's not really in the movie. He doesn't do anything Wolverine-y. He just, other than saying, "Get out of my face."
Right.
So I think it will do just fine if the movie is good. People, especially because of what X-Men 97 is doing, and the fact that X-Men 97 has really only had one episode in the 2 seasons to focus on Wolverine, and he's really been a role player, if really around at all, proves that people have been clamoring for you to do Cyclops correctly, for you to do a rogue story correctly, that if you do that, Wolverine is still important. Wolverine will still put butts in seats, but you don't have to have him to do that. People love these characters. So yeah, I agree with you. I would love to see a movie where he remains not centric and we can focus on some of the other characters, because that is how you turn the X-Men truly into the same billion-dollar franchise that the Avengers have. You have to do something other. It's not just Iron Man. It was Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and Widow. Like, that's why all of them.
Do you know what this is, dude?
Important.
Do you know what this is? This is wrestling. This is wrestling. You can't. There's only so long you can rely on Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's only so long you can rely on Hulk Hogan. There's only so long you can rely on The Rock. You have to build new stars, and you have to use the talent that you have and make them main eventers. You can have really good mid-card people, but if you lose your main event person, and those aren't people, they're not main event people yet, and the audience haven't taken them as main events, you're not going to sell tickets. It's the same thing. You got to build them up as main eventers.
Well, to that point, if they go, it's so funny you mentioned that. If they go the route truly of doing Mr. Sinister, which then if you're doing Sinister and the Marauders, Gambit initially was not a good guy. Gambit was rolling with Sinister because he knew his powers were getting out of control. Like, he had an instinct. So he went to Sinister to be like, I need you to make some alterations to me. So he actually depowers Gambit a little bit, because otherwise Gambit ends up in another universe. He ends up destroying everything. So that would give you not only the ability to introduce a new villain, you would introduce Gambit properly now into this whole thing too, and then you're setting that up for his eventual turn. You do that. If you don't even play Magneto right now, if you just focus on Sinister and that, then guess what? You've set up Gambit to make a turn to be a good guy. You've set up now that we can get into Magneto later. You can set up Wolverine coming later. All of that sounds fantastic, and that would be where I'm at. Now,
the other thing inside of that report was that the Adam Driver side of it and the Asa Butterfield side of it too, right? What was it, Luke? Luke was telling me there was when Asa Butterfield just missed out on something else recently. I can't remember what it was. But then he misses out on this. And it's almost like that Nicholas Hoult thing, right? To where Nicholas Hoult kept getting close and close and close, and he'll hit with something, because obviously he's on their radar and they want to do something with him. But it is drastically different from this Kit Connor kid who they cast yesterday. I wasn't familiar with him. I don't know if you were, Winston, but I can tell you that his look, perfect. As far as how he looks just like, to me, that's exactly the type of look that I would.
What's his name again?
Kit Connor.
Kit Connor.
Yeah, he to me that looks like Cyclops. Yeah. So like, I was like, okay, clearly he did something pretty good. And then the Adam Driver side of it, the second Kevin Feige made his comments on Josh Horowitz's show, I said, oh, he's in this movie. Did you hear what he said?
No.
So he said, because Josh was asking him about Adam Driver and all this, and he's like, we keep trying to get Adam Driver to be and stuff, and he keeps telling us no. I was like, oh no, okay. So he's now, that means he's in the movie. So we keep trying to get him. It's like, that means that you've been trying for a long time and you finally got him, because he's been in they have conversations, and every time something comes up, and they got him for X-Men. I mean, that one you go to the bank with. He'll be introduced at D23, which is also another thing. We have Chris Carr covering for us at D23.
Nice.
And that's one of the things that I'm sure when that panel happens, we're going to get some major confirmations. Maybe somebody that we know. Maybe we will get Professor X and Magneto. I think you can't do an X-Men movie without those two. I mean, you have to. I mean, I don't necessarily know if you need Magneto, but I think you definitely
not right away.
Obviously, Professor X. I mean, you can't do that with that.
You literally cannot have the X-Men without Xavier bringing them together.
Right.
So you have to do that. I think it would behoove them stop feeding us the exact same thing, it would be so genuinely interesting to wait on Magneto, to just wait a little bit, because think about how we did Spider-Man this particular time. You already started off with Green Goblin in the very first one with Raimi, right? Mm-hmm. So then when you went into Amazing, they then instead who was it was Lizard, which made more sense because if I remember correctly, Lizard was the first big bad that they did with Spider-Man in the books. So it was interesting to just kind of pivot and then set up Goblin coming. Mm-hmm. I think the same thing here. We know Magneto is the main rival to the X-Men and what he does back and forth. There's obviously a lot of villains that the X-Men deal with, but Magneto is that main push-pull. Just wait on it. Give it a little bit and that let that be a thing. I don't think you need to make him like a Thanos level big bad like you did with Avengers. That's too much. But I think if you space that out where like you went Iron Man 2, Hulk, Thor,
well, Hulk
was
America. No, Hulk was 2.
No, I understand. I'm just counting the number of movies. Sorry.
Right.
But Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2,
right.
Thor, Captain America, and then you had Loki kind of be a bad guy here in Thor, and then like Avengers, Loki was your big bad for that kind of last film. Do something similar where like you could have Magneto show up and be an issue in one, but like his main plan is
don't take him out. Don't take him out in the first movie. You got to build it out because we've had so many movies with Magneto that people in the same way that you didn't give us Joker in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And you waited. So by the time you get to the second one, you make it a different villain for some reason. There's tons of possibilities, and I think X-Men's the right route to go. So we'll see as far as the casting goes at D23. But curious what everybody thinks about all the rumors, everything. Last one, what do you think about the idea? If do you pay any mind to the rumors of McAvoy and Fassbender?
I mean, I honestly wouldn't hate it. Like, the funny thing is, I just rewatched both Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix because I guess I'm a glutton for punishment, but also just because of some of the stuff that's happening in X-Men 97. I just was like fiending for more X-Men stories, so I tortured myself.
The Fassbender Magneto scene, I think it was in Apocalypse with his family. Is that
where his kid gets killed and his wife gets killed?
That
and then
scene
he goes on a tear.
That scene is awesome. The movie, but that scene is awesome. He was awesome as Magneto. He really was.
He genuinely was. They both were same thing because McAvoy brings to the thing that I think we didn't get from Patrick Stewart. The older you get, the more you realize that Charles is actually a piece of shit. Like Charles means he means so many good intentions.
Right. So that alone doesn't make him a piece of shit.
Until you start seeing the things that he does and he tries to make it in claims of like, I'm doing it for the betterment of everybody else. And you start to realize that Charles genuinely but it's what makes him
I think he makes bad decisions. I don't think he's a piece of shit. I think that's too strong.
I need you to I'll give you some stories.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's the whole people will talk about oh, I'm a nice guy. I don't understand why you don't like the nice guy. Charles ultimately we start to realize is actually very manipulative. He's incredibly manipulative, and it starts to show. What I meant by McAvoy, what was really good, all of those arguments he would have with Mystique, even though it was a little heavy-handed with we should call it the X-women, but like that argument of like, Charles, your hubris is what's getting in the way. You like being around the president, and that's why you're doing X, Y, and Z.
That's different. I still think you're being harsh with the piece of shit thing. I think you can still. I know people who have heavy hubris and maybe do make bad decisions, but they're not bad people.
Which is fair, I guess.
Yeah.
The other thing you got to remember though is Charles. Do you know who Onslaught is?
No.
Onslaught ends up being what happens when Charles's ego and that dark side of his brain finally gets unleashed and it gets merged with Magneto. Yeah. I'm saying that's all in him. And the one thing about Stewart, he is such a like loving grandfather. I never got that dark side that I felt was floating under the surface. I feel it with McAvoy. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Fair enough. But nonetheless, we're going to see. I think they'll both be announced at D23. Not necessarily those two actors, but the roles will be announced. And that will be the talk of D23 is X-Men. All right, put your thoughts in there, guys. Let us know what you are thinking, please and thank you. Before we move on to the next topic, which we're going to get to right now, if you're not subscribed to the Schmodown Vault channel, please do it. It was the movie trivia league that we ran for a very long time. We're in season 3 right now, and yours truly playing in a match against Jason Inman. This was a big match with me and Inman. It was kind of leading into the tournament, the first ever. Well, no, I shouldn't say first ever, but the second singles tournament that we ever did, but the first one we ever did in the Collider era. So you guys should go and check that out. If you haven't done that already, please subscribe. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers over there. It's a small little fun little community, but nonetheless, we're having a good time, and people have been throwing comments in there. Yesterday we had the #1 contender match between Clark Wolf and Sam Levine. That was a good one. Some fun memories to relive over there. So go and check it out. All right, you and I always goof around about the one movie that you're never going to bet against when it comes out. It's always what's the movie that's going to be out there. If it has a movie coming out that year, it's going to be in the range of the $800 to $1 billion, and it's going to always, no matter how good the movie is, how bad the movie is, it's going to make money, which is
goddamn Jurassic movies.
Right. The Jurassic movies. And now though, the last Jurassic, which did pretty damn good, Gareth Edwards, he gone. He's not going to be part of the new one. This seems to be happening with him quite often with his big budget franchises that he does. But here's another one. Jurassic World, Gareth Edwards is leaving due to reported creative differences. The differences? He wanted to make a good movie. Jurassic World Rebirth was one of the 2025's biggest box office hits, but the upcoming sequel now finds itself without a director after Gareth Edwards exits the project amid creative differences. The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that the Jurassic World Rebirth director Gareth Edwards has exited the sequel due to creative differences with Universal Pictures. While Rebirth was released to mixed reviews last year, divided critics, 50% score on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was a hit at the box office, grossing $860 million worldwide. Writer David Kopp was once again enlisted to pen the script for this follow-up, with the 3 leads all expected to return. That's still the case, though their respective schedules are still being worked out. Plot details for Rebirth sequels are being kept under wraps, and there's no word on what the creative differences entailed. Still, this isn't the first for the franchise, as Edwards originally replaced David Leitch, who walked away from Rebirth after butting heads with Universal. In a brief statement, the studio said, "We had incredible experience working with Gareth on Jurassic World Rebirth. What comes next for Edwards isn't clear, though he has previously been linked to both Marvel and DC." If I'm Marvel or DC, I hire Gareth Edwards immediately, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily that I think he's like the greatest director, but I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. Interestingly, the filmmaker alluded to Universal's creative interference while promoting Jurassic World Rebirth. Originally, the plan has been for Ollie's character to make a heroic sacrifice. That all changed when the studio stepped in and pushed for a new ending. Let's see. The sequel will be the franchise's 8th installment, and the plan right now is for it to be shooting next year. Okay. So much to say here. The first is the falling on deaf ears things, where I hope Universal actually changes the entire structure of Jurassic World. You can make Jurassic, because of what we just said to opening this segment, Winston, you can make this movie for $80 million and it'll make $800 million. You don't have to make it for $300 million. You can do the dino, you can do essentially what Oak Street is doing coming up here, and you can do those types of effects. You have what was Luke, what was the budget for Oak Street? I'm going to guess $130 million. If not, and that's high. That's high. So I'm going to guess, and you have Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor in that movie, right? So let's see what the budget is on that one. And Luke just put it in there, I think. No.
According to Wikipedia, the budget for End of Oak Street is $85 million.
$85 million, right. And you got Anne Hathaway, and you have Ewan McGregor, and you have dinosaurs and special effects and everything. And it's probably going to be a way better movie than the last 4 Jurassic Park movies. But it won't make the kind of money because it doesn't have the Jurassic Park name.
That's insane, though.
Yeah. So if
because the Jurassic movies have not been good for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. So they're not going to do that. They're going to make the same kind of dribble that they've been making because because people keep showing up to them. So they're going to make it. That's off the table. I'm just, on my high horse talking about that. Now, the Gareth Edwards thing is the first thing I'll say is it doesn't really matter if you lose him because what we just said, they're going to find somebody that can just shoot dinosaurs, make the dinosaurs look real. They're going to make their money overseas with the subtitles, and that's what they're going to do. So it doesn't really matter that you lose him. Now, I will say, you hire Gareth Edwards, and I like that last movie he did, the one with Denzel's kid. What was I always forget the name of that movie, the one that just came out.
With John David Washington.
Yeah, and it just came out. It came out like 2-3 years ago. I always forget the name of it.
The Creator.
Yes, I liked that movie. That's probably my favorite movie that he's done in quite a long time. Because I shouldn't say that.
He hasn't done a lot. That's the thing. He's done 4 films or 5: Monsters, Godzilla, Rogue One, Creator, and Jurassic Rebirth.
Right now, people are going to say, "Wait a minute, Rogue One's not your favorite?" I don't consider that his film. I don't consider that his film, and I always say, if it was his film, well, then why didn't he do Andor? Why did they have Tony Gilroy, the guy they said directed Rogue One? Why'd they go to him for Andor to continue that? Why, when I was interviewing Diego Luna, did he refer to Tony Gilroy as Tony? But then when he's talking about Gareth Edwards, he said, "Oh yeah," and when I met with the director, he never called him Gareth once. Never said Gareth Edwards. He said the director 4 or 5 times. Anyway, but the reason I hire him, the guy plays ball. Never once you've heard about every other person in the Star Wars thing with the problems that he had. Never once spoke up about it. Never once sat back. Didn't get a job for a bit. Then he did. Comes back, hits with the Creator. Made that movie. And then we're talking about a low budget movie. Made that movie for $70-80 million, whatever it made. Looked like a $300 million movie. Looked great.
So it was good.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Roka didn't like it, but I liked it a lot. But even Roka will tell you that for someone who didn't like it, for $80 million that movie cost, it looks like a $300 million movie. So that's why when they got him for Jurassic, it made sense. But the reason why I go and get him, you go and you get him to do Godzilla, it makes hand over fist. You go and you get him to do Rogue One, he's involved in it, whatever, hand over fist. Jurassic World, hand over fist. He's a good luck charm. Hire him. Put him on, and he's easy to work with. But the thing is, you got to get a better writer working with him. Mm-hmm. But I like Gareth Edwards. I do. I root for him.
It sounds like, just looking at this, it sounds like he co-wrote The Creator with Chris Weitz.
Chris Weitz. Yeah.
So.
Right. And what about the other ones he didn't do?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to see him do something else. But I'd like to see him play in that $80 million range. I think that's where he shines. Mm-hmm. Outside when he's doing the big budget stuff, it just kind of gets away from him. Mm-hmm. And I think he was a hired gun and did his job for Jurassic World, but it didn't feel like there was a lot of creative choices made in that movie. He's like, we shoot you a dinosaur movie? Sure. What script? This? Okay, fine. Here. And he did. It made $850 million. But
I still haven't seen it, and I still refuse to. I'm not gonna buy into continuing to keep this Jurassic shit going.
I will tell you what, though, man. The movie itself is just it's whatever. However, the opening scene is one of the stupidest scenes I've seen in a big budget movie in a bad way. Oh yeah, really bad, really really bad. Okay, Luke just sent me a story. You want to? Well, we can do this. We gotta. We'll move. Well, you know what? Let's end with this story, and then we'll get into the questions. But it's a Star Wars story, so we'll do that.
Rogue One?
No, it's not about Rogue One. But
I know you just said it's a Star Wars story, so I was like, Rogue One.
Oh, nice, well done. Speaking of Star Wars, actually, we just Sam and I just released Mandalorian season 1, episode 1 and 2. That just went up on the channel just now today.
Well, 1, I can't wait to see that, and 2, I actually used Sam for something that I did recently.
You did?
So, yeah, that was the thing I was going to show you. So I'll show you after the show.
Okay, so let me get to this topic that Luke just sent me, and this is from Paddington and Wonka to the Magic Fairway Tree inside the Silly Cereal. Wait, hold on. That's not it. Is this it? Oh my god, no, that's too long. I'm not reading that fucking thing. Fucking huge. I'm not doing that. Look, send me a freaking whole. Send me like a book. Where is it? I'm just gonna read what they wrote here. Hold on. It's like they summarized it in X. What the hell is it? This is bullshit. All right. Paddington 2 creators Paul King and Simon Farnaby were once asked to make a Star Wars film by Lucasfilm and Disney. Their concept would have just focused on a droid and is now being reworked into a standalone sci-fi movie. Okay. I prefer that. I don't like this is the same issue that Star Wars was running into and what we talked about with Mandalorian and Grogu. Is that as I was watching The Mandalorian, and I'm like, oh, there's so many tidbits that are trying to set up what comes next into the sequel trilogy and all those things, regardless of what you think about them. They're trying to like patch it up and make it all make sense with the cloning and Palpatine and all this shit. And I'm like, okay, at least they're trying to do that. Not Mandalorian Grogu, just a standalone nonsense movie that meant nothing to anybody, and that's why it ate a pile of dog shit at the theater. But like when you do stuff like this, and I think that was kind of the mentality of a lot of this was like, oh, let's do a movie about a standalone, that's a droid. And it's like, you can do a movie about that? That's why it's things like Skeleton Crew. I was like, oh, it's so good. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared. And it's like, and it's the same thing like this. Nobody would have watched this movie. However, doing something, a standalone science fiction movie about something like this to where it stands on its own and it's not a Star Wars movie in the same way that Zack Snyder did his, regardless of what you think about it, on Netflix, he did that series. What was it called? The one that the two movies that he did, the back-to-back one with Sophia Boutella,
Rebel Moon.
Yes. That was based off of Star Wars stuff that he was working on.
Right.
I love
that was supposed to be a Star Wars script and he converted it. And that people were like, they're clear, like, oh, that's supposed to be a lightsaber. Oh, that's supposed to be it. Like...
Yeah, and I like that they do. I like that when they okay, here's my pitch. It didn't work out. Now I'm gonna make my own. I love when people are going after new sci-fi stuff. So a movie about kind of a robot out on his own outside of Star Wars is great. Star Wars needs stuff to help the lore. Star Wars needs things to get people invested in it. And if you're a Star Wars fan and you're just like, no, it doesn't, it just needs fun adventures, then you don't care about the brand because the brand needs it right now. It's like you're not at a spot. If you're at a spot where movies are making $1 billion, then guess what? You can do what Marvel did. Now we can do Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see how that does. It did pretty well. And you can continue to try to do that. Star Wars is not in that position. They can't do movies about droids right now.
No, you learn from the mistakes that the MCU has bumped its head on, and hell, even that the starting of the DCU has. The indicator right there was you need to win over enough trust before you get to do side quests. Like if you look at any video game, even if you've played a Legend of Zelda before, there are, every story is uniquely new. You don't really start getting side quests until you've kind of established, you understand the controls, you've done like a main mission or two, barring a very tiny, like, I'll play this mini game. Other than that, you do not get side quests until you have really kind of locked in, and then you're allowed to kind of go. I think the same thing needs to happen. Star Wars needs to right the ship, get us on our main quest, and once we're well established, then if you want to do some other fun shit, you can, but you can't do this right now.
No, because that's the whole thing, is that like the side quests, the reason people care about side quests is because you set up the world around the side quest so well. And you care about the things that are happening inside of it, because so look, The Mandalorian is an example of that. The Mandalorian essentially is a side quest, but you look at like Sam, who I introduced in this particular way. She's all about this because she's so invested in the lore now. She's so invested in the characters. She's so invested in the universe. So side quests, sure, bring them on for her because she knows the world. But if you're just going to start doing side quests off of, like Winston said, like now we're going to do a random droid. And he's going to be running around. Well, what else is happening that I care about? And the answer right now is you can't. And so someone asked, like, Kristian I know if Kristian watched Skeleton Crew, he'd love it. I've tried 3 times. I was bored. I was bored out of my skull. I watched it it was like it's and I said, you know what, maybe, and I said to myself, you know what, maybe my little one would watch it with me because it's meant for her. And so I was like, you know what? That's how I can watch it. In the same way that I kind of got that second love for the prequels. And I said, and we started watching it. She's like, I don't like this. And that was it. Watched like 10 minutes of it and she was done. So, yeah, it's like, but it doesn't do anything. It's like, let me get it. Let me guess. Jude Law he had the Force at one point, but he's kind of like a Jedi, but he's kind of a rogue. And nobody cares. So, I want to see like, real stories now. And I want them to actually put like, you got to understand who your audience is with Star Wars. You got to understand that. And you got to stop making shows.
There's a big question.
It's not for kids anymore. It's not for young kids anymore. It isn't. Those young kids, the young kids that it was for you, right? When you grew up with the prequels, right? I grew up with the OT. So we are the last two generations that really care about Star Wars. The young generation, Gen Z, they don't give a shit about Star Wars. And I'm not saying that some kids don't. Yeah, but it's not, but it's like, you got to make it for you. Like, there's a reason why Andor, Rogue One, those things resonated with people. They were darker. They were more mature. They played.
Yeah. Well, part of the thing is the thing that started to get this current generation into Star Wars and the kids into Star Wars was Grogu, but you kind of like dragged your feet with how you were wrapping that up, and now you've kind of missed that boat.
Took too long, 100%. And there's no evolution of Grogu. Right. They didn't trust in the story they had with it. Even when I'm watching it right now, seasons 1 and season 2 are awesome. They're awesome. I just watched 1 and 2. So Sam and I watched season 2 in one day, and it's awesome. And then I'm going to watch these 2 episodes of Boba Fett right afterwards. But the reason they even did those 2 episodes of Boba Fett to bring him back is because there was some stupid note at Disney of like, oh no, you guys can't have season 3 without Grogu. You got to find a way to get him back. He's selling all of our merch, and you can't not have Grogu, right? And then they didn't trust in the story. And then by the time you get to season 3, Mandalorian's just kind of running around with Grogu, and they don't even know what they're doing with the Mandalore, and they're doing guest appearances, and Lizzo and Jack Black are showing up. It's a disaster. But so by the time you get to the movie, Grogu is still Google Gaga all over the place. Right. It's like, he isn't evolved. Like, Google Gaga. We get it. He's cute, but let's go.
I was expecting some words at some point, knowing that Yoda can talk. I figured at some point he was going to give us a dumb that was like some shit and nothing. No time, because they're not confident enough in the voice yet. They're not confident in him speaking yet. Because my other question to what they could have done in this movie, because now here's the problem that you have with Mandalorian and Grogu. There is no guarantee because of that this movie, because you know how studios get, this movie doesn't do well. There's no guarantee they're going to do a season 4. So what the hell happens to Grogu? What happens to him? He's nowhere to be seen in the new trilogy. He's nowhere to be seen. Was he at Luke's Academy? Like, did he get killed at Luke's Academy? Did he go off somewhere else? Do we see him they already put him in Boba Fett. Maybe they put him in Ahsoka. Like what happens to him? Are they just going to is it going to be open-ended? That's the biggest problem with Lucasfilm. They don't have a plan. Let's make a movie about a droid. No. It's like, have a plan. The funny thing is, this sounds so weird. They kind of, and it's too late now. They kind of just need to go away for a while. I'm not saying like, I understand it's such I'm not even saying go away for an extended period of time.
They did, Winston. There was no movie in the theater since 2019.
But once you then turned around and immediately, because you're right, you didn't put any movies out, but you decided to force everything through Disney Plus because that was your business venture of that's why you had all these MCU TV shows. That's why you had all these Star Wars
pandemic
TV shows,
though too. You got to be fair to the pandemic side,
which is totally fair. But then even when you came out of it, you then decided with Star Wars to continue to push your Disney Plus shows, whereas the MCU still got movies.
Yeah.
I think knowing that you're having to do all this big regime change and everything else, you kind of just need it's too late now. But ideally what you would have done, shut down all things Star Wars for like 2 years and just focus on this is what we're going to do plan-wise, and we're just going to go forward with this period versus trying to on the fly. Like, you need a second to collect yourself and then to go forward. And I just think it's too late now. Now you got to go with Starfighter and hope that that's enough. And
well, that's what it is. And I think that you can't shut it down now, but I think what they could have done and should have done, and I said this yesterday and I'll repeat it here, kind of going off what you're saying, putting Mandalorian and Grogu in the theater was a massive error. It was greedy on Disney's part. They tried to do the Moana thing, which we thought they were going to maybe succeed in if the movie was good. It just wasn't. And they tried to get their money back for the budget of a season that they were trying to, make up for. But the problem was what you did was you put this movie out in the theater, and it was the first movie since 2019, and it just sucked the air out of the magic of having a Star Wars movie in the theater. Right. So and you could have had that back with Starfighter next year, because it would have been, it would have been 7 years later for the next movie, a 7-year gap between that and this. Then the buzz would have gotten there again. Plus the fact the buzz for the movie is pretty good so far. But, hindsight. And so what you have to hope to do now is this movie has to be good. I mean, this movie has to be great. And if it isn't, and I said it, and it won't happen, Disney really should consider selling off Star Wars and Lucasfilm, because the team that they have in place is not working. If Disney doesn't get it, and the team at if this doesn't work, Disney doesn't get it, and it doesn't seem like Lucasfilm gets it.
The only thing though, I hear you. What do you do for? Do you just sell the movie and TV rights? Because you're just going to stop having Star Wars at Disneyland? I
think that you probably have to license it in the same way that Warner Brothers licenses some of their stuff. And the other thing, the way that, because from the rumor that I heard at one point, Apple was in serious contention from buying it, but then because of the parks, it just fell apart. But there should be some kind of licensing deal in the same way that there are properties that, Warner Brothers shows up at Universal and other things too. You do a licensing deal.
Because that's the only thing that I think it is so. Now, mind you, I guess Star Tours and stuff has been a part of Disney World and Disneyland far before Disney bought Lucas anything, and I guess that's what you said, like that was licensing at that particular juncture. So to that point, does Disney keep the rights to the park, and then you give some money to whoever you sell it to, or the other way around, where they buy everything, but then they are licensing to keep it in the parks? That's what comes into the deal making process of it, I guess. I don't know, but that's a fantasy at this point, because I just feel what they're probably going to do is more so what you said. If Starfighter fails and doesn't do well, and then they're still going to go forward with that Kinberg thing, right? And if that fails, then they've got to do exactly what you said before. Then you got to stick dynamite. If you're not going to sell it, then you got to stick dynamite in it and just let it sit for years, and hopefully you can bring it back again too, because there's always a place for Star Wars. But both Lucasfilm and Disney have damaged that brand to a place where it's not dead, but it's in bad. It's on the ropes. It's on the ropes. And Starfighter is like the fighter who's ready to go and throw shots, and is a prospect, right? It's like the Mandalorian Grogu was a broken down old fighter. He was like, I got one more in me, coach, and he just got knocked out in the second round. Like this Starfighter seems to be a contender. Yeah, it's funny you just mentioned that, because I still have the box office open, and it's wild to think that Mandalorian Grogu did better than Moana, because they both
significantly better also when you consider the budgets of the two.
What was the budget of Moana?
Like $250.
And what was the budget for Mandalorian?
160, 170.
Then that's
significantly better.
Because if Moana was really 250, they're only sitting at 264.
Yeah, they didn't even they barely made their production budget back.
Yikes, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and then I think what did 360 is what Mandalorian made, or something like that.
It's at 345.
345. So, it barely made its money back. Barely.
Yeah, I'll take a back rooms with a $10 million budget and 394 box office all day, every day.
100%. So but I do. All that being said, I think Starfighter is going to be a big hit. Mm-hmm. I think that my fantasy situation of Apple buying it is even going to be something that, even if it was possible, would be possible, because they're going to. The question is, can Lucasfilm and Disney hold on to the momentum once they have it again? Because they haven't had momentum in a long time. Mm-hmm. They haven't had momentum since Mandalorian season 1. That was the last time they had momentum. And so can they get momentum again? That is the question. And the other thing is they got to have a good showing at D23. What are we going to see from D23 from Star Wars? Are we going to get it? Are they going to bail on television? Or are we going to get Ahsoka season 2? They'll probably show a trailer for that. I would assume that's going to be a bigger thing. If they, knowing Filoni is going to keep it secret and quiet, and you're not going to see it until a week before the freaking show comes out, but they should release Ahsoka trailer on the same day and get people to start to get hyped about it. So that is going to be announced. Obviously, we're going to get the Starfighter stuff. What do they do? I think we might get some Kinberg trilogy news. I don't think that Rey movie's ever going to happen. The one with
Rey
Shinoi. Right, exactly. I think she'll pop up in the new trilogy, but I think it will. I think that's what they're going to announce at D23, that it's officially episodes 10, 11, and 12. No. They're gonna announce.
They're going to announce.
They're going to announce episodes 10, 11, and 12, and that's what Kinberg's thing is. And by the way, from what I birdies that tell me things, we kept asking about questions about Kinberg. Is he directing it? What's he doing? He's writing it and producing it. He's not directing it. Which is great. And which I think is, as I said, if he's not directing it, then he produced Rebels, he produced other things, he produced a lot of X-Men stuff. I think producing and writing.
I'm like this with his writing, man, because again, he wrote both the Phoenixes.
Sure, but is he doing treatments? Is he doing everything? For me, it's as long as he's got a treatment, he really loves Star Wars. Kinberg really loves Star Wars, so
which is fair. He apparently really loved X-Men.
He loves X-Men too. That's true.
I get it, and I understand that that's probably studio interference with a lot of it. But you had 2 attempts as a writer on this thing, and but the other thing I will say, I think that'll be interesting. And again, we've said this about Starfighter. I think that Project Hail Mary finally broke the kind of can Ryan Gosling as the sole lead of something fully sell it, because people would go, as far as making money, because people go, oh, what about Barbie and La La Land? It's well, he wasn't the sole thing.
Project Hail Mary,
he is the sole lead now. So now that's kind of broken, I think, the potential.
For me, it's not about him. It's about the stuff that he was in that people are wanting to go see in the theater. They like him. Everybody likes him. It's not like, I don't want to go see that movie because Ryan Gosling's in it. It's I don't want to see that because I don't care about the Fall Guy.
Not even that. I don't think that's it in and of itself. I think the question was just can he by himself kind of sell a movie? Because the truth is, I know that this was a pretty popular book, but there were so many people, that myself included, that really knew nothing about said book, just went to go see, oh, that looks good, and Ryan looks like he's good in it. That was my reasoning, not because I was this is the book IP I've been waiting for.
Right. But I don't, with Star Wars though, I don't think he's the one selling it. It's not him selling it.
The name Star Wars is bigger than Ryan Gosling. Obviously.
Star Wars is first. Wars is first, and they go, Star Wars movie. Who's in it? Ryan Gosling. That's what's important. It's a Star Wars movie. Oh, okay. Who's in the Star Wars movie? Ryan Gosling. Ooh, Ryan Gosling in a Star Wars movie? Yeah, and Amy Adams in it. Oh, that's interesting. And the dude from House of the Dragon is in it too. Oh, okay, that's cool. You got this person. You got this person. Okay, great. So, and then give me that first trailer. And somebody said it in the chat, and you're 100% right. You cannot shy away from old school Star Wars stuff that brought people in. Lightsabers. Right. And don't shy away from the Star Wars themes. Put some John Williams music in there. It should have its own theme overall, and with a new composer, but put the Force theme in there. Put the opening, the music, and make people feel like it's Star Wars again. The music is crucial, and they keep going away from it. It's so stupid. Like watching that, the Patterson cut of Obi-Wan where he puts the John Williams back. It adds so much to the scenes. So anyway,
which real quick, I saw somebody say, "Oh, I don't think Ryan Gosling can work as a serious action star. He's too goofy and all that." And I was like, I need you to go watch Drive.
Yeah.
Drive. The minute they announced him for Ghost Rider, if he's bringing me essentially Drive version of himself to play Ghost Rider, then I'm all in. Yeah.
No, dude, he was in a movie, Derek Cianfrance movies. Oh, what the hell was it? Hold on. I'll tell you one of my favorite Ryan Gosling performances, and I'll tell you in a second, which is The Place Beyond the Pines is another one. It's another great movie. So The Place Beyond the Pines is a great one. Yeah, he's a great serious actor and can be really serious and tough. So that is incorrect. Anyway, okay. So we went a little over time, but that's okay. We got 33 questions. We're going to jump into it. Winston A. Marshall is going to try to attempt to defeat John Roca here today. Maybe Chris Carr. I haven't gotten her numbers yet, but I think. Let's see. Ron H. Happy Friday. Welcome to Thrust Into Media, BBC. Winston, being brand new day, making all of that money. It'd be standing up erect and saluting the accomplishment. There you go. And Winston, he said, "Have you hit the Hollyweed yet? Come on, guy."
I have not.
I'm going to tell you that I watched the first 10 minutes.
No, you didn't.
No, I did.
I
did. I'm telling you that I did.
I'm not falling
you,
for it. What
don't
happens
have
in
to
the first
fall
10
for it.
minutes?
He's sitting in there. He's trimming the weed, and his buddies like starts talking to him about dragons and Schindler's List and stuff. And then he's like, "There's no dragons and Schindler's List." Then he goes and Ralph Garman is in the weed shop with him, and then he starts talking to him about some other stuff. And then what's his name? Jade pops out from the back as a homeless guy. That's the last I saw of it.
Okay, Ron H. That's got to be it. Let us know. Is that true?
Because if it is true, he's going to give you. If it is true, he's going to give you a $40 super chat. There you go. Today after the Kristian Harloff show, Otokathon day 1, and popping over to dance at Montreal Pride. Them gays not a party. I keep saying, come visit. I do want to visit Montreal. Absolutely. Little Yankee, 100 joules, high five. You want to laugh though, Winston? You go over to the Hollywood pilot on YouTube. The first like 4 comments are Ron H sent me.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. I owe you 10 joules. Thumbs up. Thank you. Ron H, given that Brand New Day is a box office failure, the director should have gotten Kevin Bacon. Bacon improves almost everything. A film adds bacon, $3 billion, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Love Kevin Bacon. Very, very hard to. Yeah, he's the best. The best. Let's see. What's next? Bajaro, 3455. Can you and Ming react to Banshee, Starfighter? I want to see the show, but again, I've got to be so careful in the things. I have to find a hit movie or show for both Ming and Tina, because everything I give them eats poop. I'm going to finish Invincible because I want to watch it. It's different than, when Winston and I were watching Demon Slayer, we were going to finish it anyway because we liked it, but then they decided to be dicks about it. So we just stopped doing it. But Invincible, I've been watching, and I'm going to finish that with him, and then we got to figure out what to do. But like, I thought Iron Lung, because people wanted to see, the fact there was YouTube and to see what the guy did, and the fact that I'm trying to do the same thing. Oh my God, it barely even hit 4,000 views. Crazy. And then the other one that I did with her was that one I knew, the Hokum one. I knew that was going to be. I just wanted to see it, but I got to find stuff for Tina and Ming to do, because they're both really good. Mumra, why do we all know what city the Flintstones are from? Bedrock, right? But I have to Google where the Jetsons live. Am I alone in this? It's not so much like Bedrock. It's true. I don't remember. But yeah, did you know Bedrock?
Bedrock, yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, it further helps that Bedrock then got a song by Lil Wayne recently to as like a but yes, I knew Bedrock. I'm trying to think. I don't remember where the Jetsons are from, because that wasn't what they focused on. They just focused on the tech more than anything.
He said Space Rock. Is Space Rock true?
I don't know.
That's a salsa. That's a salsa. I don't know. I mean, Saul could either be giving us a Finstock answer or it could actually be accurate. So I don't know. All right, next one after that. Ron H, put on the mask, use an accent, and make that money. Roca has shown us the path.
Orbit City. I knew that shit.
What's it called?
Orbit City.
Oh, whatever. Put on a mask, use an accent, and make that money. Roca has shown us the path. I hope to say, as he said, "Sukma nuts, 5 figures, biatch." Yeah. Watch. Again, Ron's been getting into the Schmodown, clearly. So there's a lot of great moments coming up in season 3. We're not too far away from the first spectacular. I think, and the spectacular, by the way, I think I'm going to run as a full on because it's like 4 hours long. I think I'm going to run as a full not like live. What's it called? The premiere event. Yeah.
Cool.
Haverboy Odyssey, 440 joules. Alert. There you go. Ron H. KH loves his fans, always saying sweet stuff like "stick your head up your ass." Hey, I talk to if my friends get out of line with certain things too, and I hope people say the same thing to me. If someone says certain things like and Soul Style knows it, he knows it. He's in here and talk. We go back and forth too, and he says, "I'm not going anywhere." I said, "I don't want you to go anywhere." But the thing is, too, don't say things like Well, I was gonna bail after the hate on Supergirl. What are you talking? There was no hate. There was no hate. You can criticize a movie. I mean, like that's the whole thing. Is that I've said it before. I'm a Yankee fan, right? Yankees doing okay right now. They got a great new shortstop. But there's times the Yankees have been in the shits, and I said, oh man, why are they putting this pitcher in there? This is terrible. This coach should be fired. I mean, I'm not a fan. It means the opposite. It means I want the best for it, right? And the same thing, like I still Star Wars is my thing. I want it to be great. It stinks right now, and so it stinks.
I think if you actually truly love somebody, then you're honest with them. Then you're able to give like constructive criticism, and you're able to tell them when something looks terrible. Like that's just, it is what it is. Like, for example, if my fiance came in right now, I was like, does this make me look fat? I'm not gonna be like, yeah, maybe you do, like whatever. But if she's like, does this outfit actually look good? I'd be like, you might try something else. I don't know if but if I straight up just said you look terrible, then yeah, I'm an asshole and I can go somewhere. I think you can, and that's the thing. You never said anything out of pocket about Supergirl. You just said, nah, man, this isn't it. And I think that's completely okay.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Someone said, watch Skeleton Crew. It doesn't stink. I tried. I was bored out of my mind. It just did not feel like Star Wars to me. So it felt like a fun little kid show that just did not feel like Star Wars at all. It felt like a cool science fiction show. I like John Watts. It just didn't work for me. D-Lit 11. Winston, did you continue to watch Demon Slayer? And have you seen the Infinity Castle movie? I loved it, but some hated it. Curious what you think.
I did continue. I didn't get to the movie yet. I need to do that.
Yeah.
So, but so far, I mean, I had no criticisms really.
No, I like them. I like the show.
Good. I just literally we just stopped because of the drama. But
yeah,
no, I thought that it was good. And
I miss Pigface. Hey, listen, miss that guy. Go Pal, gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Go Pal.
Man.
Very kind. You got a lot of great stuff coming up with the the unedited in general. We got tons of Mandalorian episodes. We're moving. Johnny Patriza, it seems everyone wants a 90s X-Men movie. I'm in. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do that. They should.
I mean, I think so. And again, I'm not saying shy away from the X-Men 97 characters. I just think that part of the problem is Cyclops needs a lot more attention. He really had, like, as we've seen in 97 when done properly, and I've never been a huge Cyclops fan, but done properly, fantastic. We need to really kind of have a connection with Jean so that then when the Phoenix stuff happens, we actually feel some type of way versus we're just kind of force feed this foot. Because like you even look at what ended up happening with Jean in Dark Phoenix, you essentially got God, what's her name that played Sansa?
Right. Yeah. Sophie Turner.
You got her real quick in Apocalypse to go, great, now you're the Dark Phoenix. And I was like, I don't know you. Why do I care that you're evil?
Right. Right.
So
there's no build to it.
Yeah.
Well, the 90s though too is the question is they're going to do 90s. The question again is we don't know what it's going to look like after Doomsday. We don't know what time period they're going to even. There's only if we're lucky, and what they should do. Well, it seems like it's been pushing towards that. There's only going to be one universe. There's not going to be multiverses anymore, or at least there's not. I mean, and is Doom going to show back up? There's a lot of questions that still have to be answered before X-Men even starts. Nathan Drake just happened upon the Settle the Score episode today. I never knew Knows How to Show. You actually did great. Love everything with trivia like that. Is the new episode on? Is that on? He didn't send it to me. Let me see if the new one's on. But yeah, I like that show. The show's fun. It's a lot of fun, man. I always have a good time on there. I got my ass whooped last time though. I normally hold it down, but I did not do well this last one. That's a terrible picture they used of me, but it's terrible. It doesn't even look like me. But it's shit. I could have sent a better picture than that. But yeah, it's on it's on the channel right now. I went up against Sonny Olsen, who is Sonny's great, nice guy. So that's up there now. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure. Okay, you should update. What is this now? You should update your. I'm tired of comments. All right, let's see. Next one. And this is Ron H. Imagine if the MCU adapted the Inferno storyline. I don't know that.
I don't remember.
Not sure.
Storyline. I got to give me a second.
Yeah. Ron H. Yo, Feige, bring in Alpha Flight. Canada, baby. Again, lost. Blaine, 103. Got my wife with the hasha that I had to clean her iced coffee off the floor. Hasha is the best. I've done it on every single one that I've scared Sam with, Winston, has been hasha.
Word. Okay, I got it. That's the full Madeline Pryor storyline.
Oh, okay.
That's the full Goblin Queen and everything else like that. So we saw in 97. You just did the whole story instead of condensing it into a 30-minute episode. Yeah, that actually would be really good. And I'd live for you scaring Sam. Those shits are hilarious. See, look, I did it. I have listening one. I
have one. I have one actually that I haven't posted that I might post today. She was walking in. I was literally sitting on the couch with the phone. It wasn't hiding, nothing. And I just went, hasha. And she went, ah! It was great. Ron H. Hasha. Battle cry of sneaky scaring people. Yep, that's it. Fiona George, has Winston seen those Luchador Roca ads yet?
He has Luchador ones. I've only seen his El Pollo Loco ones.
You never seen them before?
I haven't seen the Luchador, but I've seen the El because I.
This is delicious. Really, you made this?
What's that supposed to mean? Now you want to hit me too?
He was just
judging me. You're a masked salesman. And you're a skateboarding mariachi.
I'm just saying, you did all.
Your face was amazing. that was one of two.
My bad. It wasn't El Pollo Loco. It was Del Taco for both of them, and so I guess they kept you. First of all, good for him that they kept using him. But Jesus, I heard him talking about it. He's like, yeah, he did pretty good. I clearly don't have an accent. They're like, just do the accent.
So
like, yo,
so good. Nathan Drake, I think someone brought up Ender's Game the other day. He's so great in that. He was. The ending scene with him and Harrison Ford was fantastic. I don't remember the movie well enough, but I remember him being good in it.
The movie was not very good, but yes, he was good.
Okay. Is the Hulk being captured by damage control setting up mutant introduction Deadpool X-Force film with Wolverine, says Rick Taylor? I mean, I think that the damage control stuff is definitely setting up the X-Men. Sure.
I think the damage control is going to be probably the arm of the government that's going to turn into Trask and all that and be this entire thing with them. Because they're setting them up to be awful. And I think the main thing, without having to get fully into spoiler territory, even though the movie is over $1 billion, and it makes it feel like everybody's seen it at this point. Yeah. This entire thing of this inhibitor that Spidey made, you are setting the groundwork for the mutant collars that turn off powers 1,000%.
Jeremiah versus the World. Winston's right. There's a part where Magneto cooks Charles in Days of Future Past on a plane about hiding in the mansion and when Hank's depressed while people were dying.
And that's the thing, is that Magneto calls him out, Mystique calls him out.
He makes stupid decisions. He was selfish.
And that's the whole thing. Like, one of the main things, and Luke said it in the private chat, when I mean that, like, Professor X overall, yes, is a good guy, but over time, the continued level of shitty decisions shows that he actually is an egotistical, narcissistic ass. In, like, the third book, we have an inner monologue of him talking about, like, I see Jean, and she's also a telepath, and she's so beautiful. And it's like, dude, this is like your 17-year-old protege, and you're like 40. And you're out here like lusting after your student. And over time, you see these little moments where he keeps sort of having that thing back and forth. Like, there are things that Charles does that are real sketch over time. So,
Andrew Sanchez, I think if Doomsday is good and leaves us wanting more, then Secret Wars will be the first $3 billion movies easily. Feel free to laugh at this. I won't, and I'll tell you another reason why. That is probably that's a safest prediction. Honestly, Andrew, at anything, because the other thing that people aren't talking about, and Luke brought it up earlier, Spider-Man's in that movie. He's not in this one. Spider-Man is in Secret Wars, and you better bet your ass they're going to market Spider-Man in that movie. So you're 100% right. If Doomsday is good, wants us wanting more, and Secret Wars, everyone's like, what's going to be the finale of this? And then Spider-Man's in that, 100%. It could be. For sure. But I don't think it's going to be the first $3 billion movie. I think Endgame's definitely going to do it. Sanchez also says, but I think that GTA 6 coming out will take some box office away from Doomsday. Is it still coming out in December? A 3-hour commitment or stay home?
I think it's still on,
Yeah, and play a game that took 10 years to make. I always, I still battle with this because, and again, this is a generational thing where I don't think that people are wrong that people are going to buy this game. This game is going to be so. I might even buy this game, and I don't play it.
Because I think the other thing you got to take into consideration, and that's part of why people are saying this. At this point, GTA is beyond just what the initial game was of like you follow the story, do your thing. Because of what GTA Online is, and it's fully become like almost an MMO type, like Second Life, whatever. Because people have fully built servers with custom guns and cars and mission, all this stuff. It is a whole existential world.
Right.
People will not leave the house and play nonstop because
maybe
you're not
you're
just
right.
following a linear storyline.
Right, maybe you're right. I mean, it's gonna definitely take that generation for sure. And it's true. It has some damage.
The fact that I know people that have servers that have become millionaires from the servers they've made, like legitimate in real world millionaires because of their servers, is like part of where a lot of this is.
Yeah. Saul Show. Keep Jackman for as long as he can do it. Eventually transition him into a Nick Fury type of role for the X-Men as a version of Old Man Logan. Yeah, but it gets tricky though too, because again, Hugh Jackman's 55 years old, and isn't he supposed to have a thing for Jean? So you can't do that with this Wolverine. You have to do this with the other Wolverine. Ron H. Think One Night Only is worth the theater viewing. I was going to see it on Monday, but I decided because I had a screening, and I decided because I really wanted to see what Callum Turner was all about. I know that he's been in a couple things that I'd seen, but I wanted, now that with the Bond stuff coming in, I was like, I want to check this movie, and I like Monica Barbaro. Is that her last name? I always get it wrong. But anyway,
Monica Barbaro.
Yeah, and I wanted to see that combination. But Sam was only available then. I wanted to get Mandalorian done because I'm going to be out. She's going to be out. I'm going to be out. So I wanted to get as much done as possible. So I skipped it. So I don't know the answer. But to no one's surprise, Roxy loved it because I knew Roxy. This is right. This is Target.
Right up her alley. Yeah, I was going to go see it yesterday, and I had too much going on. But I want to, and I figured I might wait to try and take the misses.
Okay. Eclipse. Spider-Man Homecoming established the DODC WandaVision
Department of Damage Control.
Right. WandaVision showed Sword deconstructed Vision's body. Wakanda Forever showed Damage Control wanting vibranium for weapons. Ms. Marvel, Wonder Man, and Spider-Man Damage Control hunted mutants. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. They showed over and over and over again that the Department of Damage Control has become the government arm that's going to deal with mutants. Exactly that. And you're building up tech to do that.
Yeah. I like the way that they used them in this one though too. It's definitely the most devastating that it's been. Film should have been the end of Jurassic Street. Right. You know what's so funny about the Oak Street one? Speaking of my little one, because I'm taking her to see Paw Patrol tomorrow. And so we were talking about, and I was like, she's like, because my wife was like, this is probably the last Paw Patrol you ever see with one of your kids because they're going to age out, and Maisie's pretty much aged out of it anyway, but she wants to see it because I said, nostalgia. And I said, it's nostalgia. She goes, what's that? And I told her, I said, it's because, you had a memory of it when you're a kid. She's like, yeah. She's like, also, but I want to go because you took Vivi to see Minions and I didn't get to go. So I want to go see a movie. I said, that's fair. And then, I said, well, I could take you to go. She was like, I want to see dinosaurs. This is where this conversation came from. She says, I want to see dinosaurs because the dinosaurs are in the new Paw Patrol movie.
Oh, okay.
And I said, all right, then we'll do that. I go, well, there's another movie coming out on Monday. It's End of Oak Street. And she was like, I know what that movie is. I go, how do you know what that movie is? She goes, YouTube. And I was like, all right. I go, what's it about? And she told me the plot of the movie. I don't even know the plot of the movie.
Whoa.
And I was like, but she's like, I don't want to see that though. It's PG-13. I was like, that's fine. Let's say, so Saul Show, when the recasting inevitably happens, the X-Men have time traveled back into its lore, sprinkle time travel into it, explain why he's younger now. I mean, yeah, they got to be careful with it. I think they're going to wind up going with Hugh Jackman. I just think that it's just, let's cut the cord.
I don't know if that's a great move. Again, I think we're on the same page. Love him. He's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, let's cut the cord. Let's do it. Eclipse. Spider-Man Brand New Day?
Yes. A Brand New Day, yeah.
Oh no, brand new day. Okay, not
it's just a typo. because that looks like Brave New World, but he means Brand New Day.
Okay. Introduced mutant DNA tampering and tracking. Do we think Vision Quest will introduce Sentinels? I think something will happen in there too, and it's funny because
is Damage Control in?
Yeah, they were in WandaVision.
I mean, Vision Quest. Oh, they were in WandaVision?
Yeah, wasn't that the whole?
That was Sword. That was because that's why you ended up with Monica Rambeau.
Yes. I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna bring that. I'm sure there's got to be something that continues. I think that MCU has a full-on plan right now. I think there's one of the reasons why, like, we're talking about the cancellations and stuff that happened and other things not coming back. I think they don't fit into the plan. I think Vision Quest fits into the plan.
I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you the next time that Doom Patrol, Jesus Christ, the next time that Damage Control shows up, I guarantee you what will make the Sentinels go is they'll go, that event that happened in Manhattan with that telepath, we can't have that. We need something that can't be mind controlled. And then they're going to start making Sentinels because they're robots.
Let's see. Next one here. Lincoln West. What's up, Lincoln? Just saw on Smet's Knights of the Republic Discord. He has a ton of work jobs this month and hasn't had the time for KOTOR here or anything else. He needs to be back by September. Yep. He and I have been talking, and I announced that on the show yesterday. He reached out to me and told me that he's just going to be so locked down until September. And I said, totally fine. Well, Wednesdays will be either guests or days off until he gets back. So Fiona George, I'm on catch up. Is Winston's volume still a bit low? I don't think so.
Everybody's been saying that my mic has been super low this whole time. That's why I've been fiddling so much to try and fix it. But
I'm not sure. But what I will say is next Wednesday, is it next Wednesday? Yeah, next Wednesday I'm going to be off, but I think Roka's going to take over. I might have, I was going to see if Winston, well, actually, Winston here, maybe if Winston, you want to do 2 days next week, you can join Roka on Wednesday if you're available. If you're not, I also want to see, like, because the following week I'm going to need, I might do a double up and do, if they're both available, Winston and Chris on Thursday and then Winston and Chris on Friday of next week, not next week, the following week. But we'll see, because I'm going to be out the entire week of the 17th.
Okay.
Ron H. Kristian apparently has seen the start of Hollywood. Yeah, I told you. $40 super chat. Watch the rest. All right, deal. Yoshimitsu. My favorite X-Men are Nightcrawler, Storm, and Wolverine. They are newer characters, but after loving Jean in Brand New Day, I'm convinced that this team will make me like the original team just as much. I do think Storm's going to wind up showing up in Black Panther.
I genuinely think that they're probably going to use that as the avenue to introduce her. And I think that's the smart move, especially knowing that that's something people have been clamoring about. That's an easy way to kind of legitimize T'Challa too, to make them the same age and that be the couple that gets together.
Like that when they brought Claw into Ultron. Go Pal. Bedrock was in the theme song from the town of Bedrock. They're page right out of history. Yep.
That's true. They do not say Orbits. The whole Jetsons theme song is "Meet George Jetson, Jane, his wife." Like I just,
it's a detailed song. Ron H. Haven't heard from that comic. That does not bode well. He better be okay. Someone is watching the snow. Hello, come back soon, man. Well, he said he's going to be taking a break for a bit, so he'll come back. Ron H. Bad news. Roni won't be ready again till next Friday. Good news. Roni's motor under warranty. Saved some cash. Once she's back, we're gonna rock. Yeah, I mean this has been an ongoing drama.
Yeesh.
Check out Pete Holmes' X-Men skits. I've seen the one I saw of his that he did with Mark Paul Gosselaar when he was Ryu. Did you see that one? That was hilarious. That was good. Oh, you can. K Dog Westmore. Gen Z grew up with the prequels and the Clone Wars. I don't know about Gen Alpha. Gen Z didn't grow up with the prequels, really.
How old is when did Gen Z technically start? As 2000? Well, they would have been babies. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can still, but it's still it didn't really it just didn't catch on the same way. Yoshimitsu 5537. I'm looking forward to End of Oak Street. The trailer looks like 90s version of Land of the Lost of horror instead of sitcom. I just like the cast. So we got 3 left for now, Winston. 3 left for now. But we'll see. And the other thing I said that I would do, that I'm going to do every day, if people do have questions about the Kickstarter and other things, I'll keep it open to the entire chat until while there. So you start throwing those in now if you have them. If not, then we'll call it a day. Jose Rodriguez, my wife's theory: Jean is giving MJ memories back because she's the only one crying during a mind freeze at the end of the high school. MJ holds the necklace from Far From Home. Jean repaying back to Peter. She is the one that people keep asking about Hulk. mean, that's kind of the thing, is that she jarred something loose, right? I think that if anything, she'd be able to kind of bring those memories back.
Well, I have actually said that I think there's only one major plot hole in Brand New Day, and we never get an explanation why all of a sudden Bruce feels the need to suppress the Hulk. It doesn't make logical sense considering end of Endgame, then into She-Hulk. He's come to an understanding with Hulk and got under control. I get that people are like, I don't want Professor Hulk anymore. I want Ranger. That's fine.
Done.
Just explain it. Literally, just explain. If you had said something as simple as, so why are you inhibiting yourself now?
Right.
Well, after, the president had his Hulk incident, the government came to me and said, you need to, I need Hulk put away. And I just started if you had said something as simple as that, it would have been like, okay, bet. And so that's the only thing that I don't love is we don't really explain why he is actively inhibiting himself.
Oh wait, sorry, there's another one by Jose. Jean never mentioned Ned, so the only person she knows that Peter has a connection to is MJ. Love you guys. Got to become a member soon. Yeah, listen, we'd love to have you as a member. And this month we do an exclusive stream for anybody who is a member, by the way, to let people know. Take advantage of it, and if you be part of the stream when we do them, everybody can interact with us over there. You can come in, you can ask questions. If you're at the $5 tier and up, you can just come in and ask us a video question, say hello to us in video, and you can also just put questions in there, and we'll answer everything. It's a full icon Q&A thing. So we hope that you'll join us over there, Jose. Ron H, Ebony and Ivory show, yes please. Yep, 2 of them. Yoshimitsu, hell yeah, the more Winston the better, especially with Chris Carr. The next couple of weeks are going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be a full week, and we'll see who can win without me on the show. That's what I'm curious about. Pooch Shoot Riot. Winston, I hope you like my avatar. Plan on playing the new Marvel fighting game. It's pretty great so far. You know that
did you put me on Winston Duke's head?
It's great. You know that Spider-Man 2 is on the PC, right?
Oh, that's cool. I have a Mac, so I would have to get an emulator first or a whatever to put Windows on here. But I did. But I finished the game. My buddy of mine had me cat sit for him for a bit, and I played the whole thing. So I had a good time with it.
Okay, so at the moment we hit the last of the questions. So what I'll do is, as I said, so what I did for people, this is something, just an example, Winston, because people have been giving me questions and thoughts for the Kickstarter as we're looking to launch, in September. And I have been sending them to Craig, our Kickstarter campaign manager. And somebody was asking about, like, well, will you read the script? And I was like, not the script, but I just sent him the character breakdowns. I sent a synopsis about, like, kind of what the story was about, breakdown of kind of what it's all about, so they can get invested in what it is. So if you have any other questions like that, guys, or anything about the Kickstarter in general, anything, please put your thoughts in there now. And that's it. So let's see if there's anything else. And if not, we'll have Winston sign off. Winston, where can the good people find you?
Absolutely. You can find...
Hey, it's me.
Oh, man. White chicks, too. You can find me at the Swaggy Blur on all platforms, man. Check me out here on YouTube. I'm on Spill the Tequila with Roca on Tuesdays, Blurs in the Hood on Wednesdays, here on Fridays, obviously. Kristian mentioned I'll potentially be doing some additional shows in the next couple of weeks, so that'll be a good time. And yeah, there was something I forgot. You're going to be on for a little bit, aren't you?
Well, I mean, as long as there's questions, it will. But here's this one. Like Gopal asked, how does it work with the unions on a project at the scale of our show? Like in terms of having union members in it. I remember you were SAG. Yeah, I am SAG. So it's like, but the goal would be that we're going to do union. I'm pretty sure we just have to figure out. I'm pretty sure
it's the money thing. It's essentially you have to pay certain rates. You have to pay into the SAG pension. You have I got to figure out how that is. Insurance. There's a few things that I know about it because I've been trying to shoot my own short, and like even that's the crappy thing. Shooting something with myself because of SAG. If I want to like go to film festivals and stuff, I have to go under all of those SAG rules, which is like what's kind of made me pause to shoot this thing. Just money, So.
It's true. Triple X gone dull. Triple X. How will the keep up the day theme for the rest of the Spider-Man titles in the new trilogy? My votes are for Spider-Man Hand Me Down Day or Spider-Man Deja Vu Day. I mean, that's his question. I think they'd probably switch it now and be okay, but maybe they don't want to.
I bet you the Venom one, I don't think that they exist in the comics, but I think you could go Spider-Man Day and Night, and then that's when he gets the black suit. And so it's the argument of like, oh, shit, I'm going to be good, I'm going to be bad. Like,
right. It's true. Ron H. Okay, all. Have a great weekend off to Otakathan. and partied up with his Montreal Pride. Warning, Ron H on the streets. Love you guys. Thank you, Ron, as always. The Scott Summers. Maybe I missed it, but if you told us the premise of the show, I have, and I can do it again, but without too much breakdown of it. But it's essentially, kind of broken down comedian / podcaster who was at the top of his game at one point is no longer there. And his ex-wife, who was at the top of the game in another thing. They are on two different paths, and they're trying to keep up with the worlds that they are in when it's passing them by quick, and something kind of has to bring them back together, but they're not in the way that you think. So that's kind of the smaller thing. But like I said, there'll be more details on that's pretty accurate, right, Winston, from what you've read? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pilot question. I know the dream is to get picked up by Netflix or another streamer after it is done, but before that happens, where will backers be able to watch it? So great question. This conversation that we absolutely have had, you'll be able to watch it. We just got to figure out like where that is, and you'll have the information of all of that before you even donate, so you know. But yes, you'll be able to, for sure. Let's see. Anything else? A double check. Okay, let's see. Eric Kirby, guys, your two top sad dog movies, Marley and Me or Old Yeller. Marley and Me crushed me. I ran at the time I had my old. Oh my god, dude! At the end of that movie, like my old pug was upstairs, like just sleeping, and I ran upstairs and just hugged him for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Early on in dating, Kristen, I got her because she's obsessed with dogs. Obviously, that's why you kept sending the dude when I had a broken leg, and she was happy to. I got her A Dog's Purpose and A Dog's Journey just because of how much she loves dogs, not knowing that the ultimate thing about this is that the dog keeps dying, but it gets reincarnated as a new dog and finds its owner. I broke both of us, but I especially broke her, and I feel awful about it.
Well, watch Marley and Me. Good luck. Oh, AK Doherty, are you all familiar with Matthew Wood? I don't think so. He was in the Saturday Night Live movie. Let me see Matthew Wood. Let me see. Matthew Wood, actor. Oh yeah. Matthew Wood as what? He's kind of older. He's like 55 years old. He would be a perfect Wolverine. He can't be the same guy that I'm looking at here.
Matthew Wood.
This guy's like 54 years old. This can't be it. No, is that right? I think you have the wrong name, because that's not Matthew. Which guy in Saturday Night Live? Let me see. It's the Saturday Night Live movie, IMDb. I think that might be. I think he gave me the wrong person. Let's see. Or unless you're goofing with us or something.
Or Matt Wood.
Is that what it is? Matt Wood? Let me see. I'm looking. Matt Wood. I'm looking at the cast.
He portrays John Belushi.
Oh, I didn't love he was my least favorite in that movie. He was my least favorite. So.
I think his name is Matt Wood.
Okay. He was my least favorite in that movie. So that's not and not that he was bad actor. He just didn't seem like Belushi to me. Okay. Armada. To quote Aragorn for Ron H. Hollywood. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Yes, and then thank you. Knowing this, yeah, of course. Yeah, trust me. Like I've always been, whether it's come to Schmodown or other things, I've always made sure that it would to always be upfront with you guys, and also to make it very clear that you guys, I'm selling this to everybody that I've been talking to, as far as like, this is not just my martinis, it truly is. You're going to be your show too. So I want to make sure that if you're putting stuff towards this, that you're going to get the stuff that you want out of it. So you should be able to freaking see the thing, of course, whether it gets picked up or not. Matt Wood. That was okay. Yeah.
Matthew, it's Matt.
Yeah, okay. I didn't love him, but I have to see more stuff that he's in before I just say right away. KCG, will you guys be posting clips from the comedy show? Probably not. If you guys are able to make it, and the comedy show that we're referring to obviously is going to be in October with myself and Jen Sturger and Mark Ellis. It's going to be on October 8th. So if you guys are able to make it, hopefully you can be there. The link's in the description if you want to come check it out. But no, we won't be posting clips.
I wish I could, man.
Yeah. Armada, how you ever heard of Exit 8 movie? No, I don't know that one. Not sure. Any good?
Oh, I think that was a Japanese horror film.
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually heard that this movie was pretty solid, man.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's something about okay. A man on a subway essentially gets lost in a subway station where it's an infinite loop. I mean, knowing that you're a big sci-fi
I like that
person,
kind of
you
stuff.
would probably really like
sounds
this
good.
movie.
AK Doherty, since Endgame is being rebranded as Endgame Encore, and it's technically a new movie with new scenes and new shots for Doomsday, would it still qualify to add for the total of Endgame's box office? Yeah, it will. They'll find out. It's just added footage to it in the same way that I'm sure they put a couple things in, Avatar, whatever too.
Hey,
Sure.
I'm close. I heard the question, but I'm closing this thing on Exit 8, and I got confused for a second because it said Exit 8 has grossed 5.2 billion.
Whoa.
I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, yen. God damn.
Right. All right. Okay. Makes sense. Sam coming in. Regarding the pilot, as a scores person, what are your favorite current TV composers? For me, Cristobal Tapia de Veer, Nicholas Patel, and Siddhartha Khosla. I'll tell you what, Sam, you are definitely well more knowledgeable in television film score composers than I am. And that is something that we definitely have to look into, because I don't even know we haven't talked necessarily about score for the show as much as we've talked about like music and things too, because the goal again, for what we're raising, I've told people we need about 13,000 people to put in $25, and then we make the show at the capacity we want it to. If we go under that, then we'll have to make it and cut things and do other things. If we go over that, then there's a possibility of making offers to people who had bigger rates as far as actors and DPs and composers and songs and things that we didn't think of. So that's where it's all gonna go to for sure. Okay. If you guys kill in the building, will you post clips? Because ACG. I mean, I just don't know if I'm going to be taping it. I'm not going out. It's always stressful when I have to set up cameras and set up everything too. Like if they have stuff there and they sell tapes, then maybe I'll put some stuff here too.
The only thing you could do at the bare minimum, if you want the audio of it, you have your
I could have somebody.
You have your little mic thing that you use now for your stuff. You could just talk, because I've seen a lot of stand-ups now doing that, where they'll just clip it to themselves, and then so they'll do the standard show with the thing. But then at least like if they got their phone in the back, you just have.
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Armada, 8YT, ever seen the horror film Wishmaster? No, I don't think so. No. And then Johnny B. Newton says Exit 8 was fantastic. They really liked it. Okay, next one. I Google searched Matt Wood as Wolverine. It's a whole fan cast thing online, and now I just want Finstock in the role instead, right? XXX Don. He would have been because he could have been like, hey, listen, tell Gene to come over here. That guy Scott, real loser. You can see it. Real loser. All right.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. What you need? Experience.
Yeah. Listen, I got a lot of it. You know people who don't have experience are worthless. Armada, fall movie reaction maybe with Winston. That's the one. That's because Roxy got cast in Fall too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fall,
so it's a real popular movie on Netflix. Apparently, I didn't see it.
Wow, good for her, man.
Yeah. All right, that's what we got. So thank you guys again. Check out Winston. Winston, thank you. Thank you to PLD. Thank you to Luke. Thank you to all you guys. Thanks to Sam and MK for doing the time codes. Make sure you guys join the Discord if you haven't done that already. Make sure you're checking us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't checked out the Mandalorian reaction with me and Sam, please do that. That's what's going to kind of dominate my and Sam's reactions. We also have Invincible for the month of August as well. And then once we hit September, we're going to be doing a lot of the DC EU stuff and other things too. So one more for Winston here. Winston, are you watching My Adventures with Superman? The episode where he fights Cyborg Superman was great. Is that right?
I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I started this Shakespeare that I've got going on in a couple of weeks. And so everything kind of got put on a little bit of a pause right now, unless it was I have to watch this thing. So far, I like this new season. The show has always been good, but I am not fully caught up.
Armada, Winston reaction to Adventures in Babysitting. Oh, that'd be a good one for him.
Yeah, because
sure.
that was part of the debate I got in with. Jay's argument that Thor was an A-lister is because of Adventures in Babysitting. And I was
it's not an A-lister, but it definitely brought more people, and he was also in the Incredible Hulk show with Lou Ferrigno.
Sure, but I think
Yeah,
part
but
of the
I'm with
A-list is
you.
the idea that you could sell it on your own, and
I'm
Thor has.
I'm with you on that. I wouldn't. I'd put him as he was a known name, but also the argument is, was it because it was Thor the character or because he was Norse god? Like, Blaine, that primetime trailer Pattinson needs Oscar soon. I heard that was pretty good.
Look, man, I think he needs at bare minimum a nomination for what he did in the Odyssey. If he doesn't win, because it's going to be a pretty stacked year.
He could get nominated for 3 or 4 roles.
What else is he in this year?
He was in that one that you loved with
the drama.
He was in the drama. He was in this. He's in that primetime thing that's coming out that people are talking about. And I think there's one other one that he was in. Can't remember what it was. Sticks.
He was on a tear.
Is Martini your wife and your ex-wife? KCG. There's a samurai movie by a director named Kurosawa releasing in about a week. Ever heard of it or him? No relation to the legend, obviously. No, I don't. I haven't heard of it, not until you just brought it up there now. Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
We got more seats.
Curiosity. Now you have my attention.
They're not letting us go yet, Winston. Go, pal.
Love it.
I need to revisit Adventures of Babysitting. It's a great one. It really is.
Ooh, it is called Kokurojo, or The Samurai and the Prisoner.
Oh, all right. Yoshimitsu, I wouldn't be surprised if Sword's experiments on Vision's corpse led to Vibranium Sentinels. Vision Quest could be super relevant to the future MCU. I think he will be. I definitely think he will be. For sure.
Inspired of the Sword experiment.
Yeah. Oh. Dune. Pattinson's in Dune 3 also.
Duh,
yep.
I forgot.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. He is. Yes. That's kind of like the whole deal to them. So it's that, and they don't get along, and they haven't talked to each other in a very long time. So that's what I'll give you. Anyway, so thanks again. We'll see. Maybe I'll bring you back in Winston. Maybe I won't. We'll see in a sec. So as I sign off again, thank you guys so much for being here for this entire week. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And we'll be back on Monday next week. How it's going to run is Monday. I'll be back with Roca. Tuesday, I'll be back. I think Mike's coming back on Tuesday. Roxy won't be here next Tuesday. Wednesday, we will actually have Roca and potentially Winston if he's available. Thursday, me and Chris. Friday, me and Winston. And then the following week after that, I will be gone for that week. So that's it. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.
Did you shit in there?